So, welcome to Northern Powerhouses, our business success stories series of interviews, where we
Thank
discuss with
you.
local business leaders, their backgrounds, their successes, their challenges, and what really drives them forwards. And this morning, I'm delighted to have with us Alison Johnson, who's director at Forward and Thinking. So, Alison, thank you so much for spending some time with us. And if you'd like to introduce yourself, Forward and Thinking, what you do, how you help people, that would be wonderful.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone. My name's Alison Johnson. I'm one of the founders and directors of Forward and Thinking. We've been in business 16 years this year. We're based in Market Wheaton in between York and Hull, but we cover UK wide. We're an advertising agency and we specialise in buying and selling onto our clients TV, out of home, radio, audio, podcast adverts, everything you can think of. Wherever you see an advert, we buy and sell them on behalf of our clients. So we invest in systems where we can see where all the data is. So everything we buy is data driven, backed for our clients' target audience. So there's no
Brilliant.
wastage and everything is all about return on investment for them, making sure that their ad is in front of their target audience at all times. So we're based in sunny Market Wheaton. It's not sunny today though over there. But yeah, it's good. Business is good. It's been tough the last few years, but like
Yes.
2026 is looking good.
Yeah, yes, no, I think that's been unfortunately been quite a common thing across the board. But what one thing I am not expert in by any means, but have come to contact with is the fact that things like radio and TV advertising is very much affordable nowadays. I think a lot of people that I work with owner managed businesses, SME type businesses, historically probably would never even thought of things like having a TV advert. But my understanding is it's becoming more and more and more affordable over time.
It is, yeah. Now we can, before years ago, we used to have to target regionally, which were,
Yes,
and the same with radio. So there's a lot of wastage. So you're not targeting the areas that you need.
yes,
So the cost per thousand to actually reach the listener is really high. Whereas now we can target by postcode, by influences within the house, who's watching what program, if they've got a dog, if they've just had a baby, anything that
amazing.
C1, C2DEs, whatever's happening, especially on the Sky boxes, whoever's watching what TV will put their system puts the right ad in front of them. So if I've got two boxes in our house and my 18-year-old's watching one and we're watching the other, we'll probably get a financial ad because myself and my husband are directors, whereas the 18-year-old will have an ad that's a custom, built around what
Yeah.
his interests are or her interests are. So it's really fascinating how it targets.
That is fast. So right down to the box level,
Yeah.
literally a house, two boxes in the same household can have two different adverts. Absolutely fascinating. And I would, as I say, anyone watching that was interested in this is to get in touch with you and understand a little bit more about this because it is very much, as I said, I've understood it to be a lot more affordable. So, Alison, if you would be kind, maybe looking backwards to start with, tell us a little bit more about your background, how you got into business, and why this particular one for you.
I've been in radio a lot of years. I used to live in the Northeast, sell radio, and I worked my way up to sales manager over there. And then I moved down into Yorkshire, went to work for, it was Galaxy then and Capital, and then it changed into Global Capital. And then my husband had a business and he talked me into leaving there and setting up an agency. So to start with, a lot of my clients from the Northeast were still getting in touch with me to say, can you just look after our advertising for me? So that's what I did. It was just me on my own at home, looking after maybe three clients, then four, and then five. So I sort of built it like that. So I just saw a gap in the market where there was a lot of reps selling a lot of different products, and obviously everybody has their own target to meet and the reasons why, people should advertise on their
Yes.
platform. And I was thinking, yeah, I was feeling like it should be the right platform and not just spent in one place. There's enough budget to go across different
Yes.
platforms for different audiences. So that's what we did. So I started with audio, which is radio, and then built it from there. Lots of outdoor. We do a lot on the London Underground, on the Tube,
Brilliant.
different advert platforms, and then buses, roundabouts, all the digital screens across the whole of the UK. And we've got systems where we've got access to where they all are. So if say for instance somebody wants that board at the end of their business road, we would argue that it's not the right audience because people will see that every day, and we justify where we put our ads,
Brilliant.
which really ticks my boxes, and that's why the business has just grown and grown from there really, and we sell more products now than when we first started. I love advertising. Radio is always going to be my baby though. I do love radio, but
Brilliant, brilliant.
TV is great. I love TV as well.
It's interesting because one of the things as business coaches, we teach our clients is marketing primarily is mathematics, i.e., because you talked about return on investment, knowing your numbers. If you know
Yeah.
your numbers, then the marketing, however you manage your marketing, can be way more effective because you know where the money is best spent.
Even on Sky, I can now look at a campaign, and because we're targeted on postcodes, we can look at the IP addresses where people viewed the ad and marry it up with the average basket value in a store, and if that came from that IP address, that sale. So return on investment like we can really drill down on that
Love
now,
it.
which is a lot different to years ago in radio.
Absolutely brilliant. Now, music to ears, it's something so important because and I say to people, you don't need a marketing guru. The market is the only guru you need. That will tell you if you know your numbers. If the numbers are coming back,
Yeah.
you'll know what people want and therefore give it to them. So wonderful. Well, look, Alison, it's in, when you were growing up, is this a sort of career you thought you had lined up for yourself, or did you have other plans at that point?
No, I've always been selling since I was about 19. I worked for my dad for a year, and my brothers worked for him as well. And then one of them bought him out. So I've always been in the sales environment. I've sold golf equipment. I've sold like when free serve came out, or the
Yep.
banners on the websites and things like that. So the priority listings on Scoot, things like that. So I've always done advertising, but when I got into radio, that's where I came into my own. I really enjoyed radio.
Love it, love it. And 16 years, obviously. I mean, congratulations. That's a hell of a longevity. I don't know how well you know the sort of business survival stats, which
Hello.
unfortunately are not really, but 80% of businesses fail in the first 5 years of operation, and unfortunately, then of the 20% that survive, another 80% fail in the following 5 years. So, getting to 10 years puts you in the top 4% of businesses. So, well done. It's
We're
really.
doing all right, yeah.
Yeah, no, absolutely wonderful. So looking back over that time, what are some of the biggest challenges and issues you've had to overcome?
Um, I think we had to have an honest look at the business a few years ago, maybe 3 years ago, and look at where the margins were, where the profits were, what we were giving our clients, and what we were getting out of it as a business as well. And I know you're saying pivoting, but we did. We
Yep.
changed a lot of what we were doing, and I think it's having that confidence to change and
Yeah.
not just keep doing what we're doing and hoping for the best. And that's what we're doing this year as well. We're more and more focused this year on TV, out of home, and audio, podcast, radio. But that's our thing for this year.
Brilliant.
So we're not scared to change. We'll move with the market.
Great. Yeah, there's quite an old phrase, but it was upgraded by somebody I know a little while ago. But there is a phrase that says, if you always, let's say, if you always do what you've always done, you'll always get
Yeah.
what you've always got. And but a friend of mine, it was a few years back now, and he said, well, actually, if you always do what you've always done, your history.
Yeah.
And you unfortunately again, you look at companies, MFI, Woolworths, all these companies have not changed, and ultimately their service to the marketplace has just reduced to a point where it's intangible. So having and I'd say courage to say this is working, but we're still going to look up and see what else we can do, how we can change, how we can improve is wonderful.
Yeah. No, we have to think about it, and then we go, right, we're just doing it. Let's do it.
Brilliant.
And then we'll change again. But we'll work with the market,
Yeah.
and always keep looking at things like that.
Brilliant. So, whether it's from your challenges or your successes, what are the biggest learnings you've had about growing a successful business?
Um, Recruitment is always hard. I've always got, I like to be in interviews, so I like to know if I can work with somebody, even if they've got all the skills in the world. It's got to be right fit for the
Yes.
team. Our core team that we've got at the minute is most of them have been with us over 7 years. The longest is 12 years. So they've been with me a long time, so which is really good for us as a business. So it shows that we're stable and we look after our staff as
Brilliant.
well. Um, but yeah, I think that's a big thing for us, recruitment. But the other thing is the changing market. People do cut their marketing budget, so we have to justify why. like you say, really drilling down on return on investment, looking at the KPIs, and that's one thing that we've got better and better at, just to make sure that if their budget is cut, it's not something that we're delivering, so that we can show the return
Yeah,
on investment on it. And that's been a big learning curve over the years, but we're getting better and better at it. And a lot of our clients love the fact that all the post-campaign analysis overshows what they're worth, or the freebies that we got for them as like the middleman type thing. So that's a big thing for us as well.
brilliant, brilliant. And you're probably aware we're a business coaching organisation. I'm
Yeah.
keen to know who the best coaches you've worked with, whether that's business, sport, life in general. Who's had the biggest impact on you?
My husband's been quite a big mentor for me because he's had businesses before.
Brilliant.
So that's been good. I'm part of the FEO in Hull, which is for entrepreneurs only. So I've done quite a
Okay.
few working with their peer groups, working with them. I've just finished an end games course that we've done that lasted for the last 6 months. That was really, really good. But yeah, I think I like to learn, so I like to
Yeah.
go on different things and keep learning all the time. And nobody's perfect, so I like to put new things out.
It's great to have that attitude. I think there's always more to learn. I think I was told a story quite a while ago. The ex-Labour peer, Tony Benn, Lord Benn. I don't know if you
Yeah,
remember it. That when he retired completely from politics, he started to speak. He was doing a lot of speaking at universities, educational establishments,
yeah,
and he'd start every speech by saying, "We all wake up every morning knowing less than we did the day before."
yeah,
And of course, it was a lot of consternation in these universities. And well, we're teaching people, and for me, his proposition was the amount of information in the world is growing so quickly. Our percentage of it is shrinking, and the best we can do is keep learning to try and keep up.
yeah.
So I tell, and I remember our founder saying many years ago, which I really love, which again about learning. He said we can't out earn our learning. And I think that was really relevant. Is the more we learn, the more we earn, and so it is. It's so important to keep doing. So wonderful. So from any of those sources, do you have any favourite quotes or sayings about business or success or life in general that you could share?
Um, yeah, I mean the biggest one that and my husband Andrew's big isn't the biggest risk is not taking the risk, and that's what the mantra that we work with. And this year's mantra is just get stuff done for us. That's so if we're thinking about something that we'll just say that to each other and be like, yeah, just get on with it.
Love it, love it. Funny enough, one of our two or three key quotes is, yeah, the biggest risk you can take is to do nothing. Um, I completely agree. Wonderful. And similarly, any favorite books or podcasts about business or success or life in general, again, you can recommend?
Yeah, I'm reading at the minute the Blue Ocean Strategy, which is really good. So I'm really want to drill down on what puts us, what the difference is between us and a lot of our competitors,
Great.
and how we can put ourselves in within the markets that like we have a niche. So
Yes.
that's one thing, and I'm reading that at the minute, which is really good. And the
Brilliant.
80/20 rule, like I keep reading that as well because I have to keep going back to that because when we start getting clients that take a lot of our time, we're just like, no, we'll go back to the 80/20 and
Absolutely.
reread that book.
Brilliant. Great. Thank you. Yeah, well, we'll make a note of those, and I think they're both really, really valuable books to read. Um, and on the learning theme further, what would you say you've learned about yourself throughout your journey so far, Alison?
Uh, I don't know really. I like meeting people and I just like to chat. So I think I've learned that my strengths are being out and about, meeting people, networking, and just chatting on the phone. And my big thing at the minute is like I call people. I like to chat to people rather than emailing. And a
Yes.
lot of people will email. I'm like, no, just pick the phone up. You get a lot more out of it. So. I think I've learned that they're my strengths, and that comes from selling, I think.
Yeah.
But yeah, and getting people to trust who I am and our business and
Yeah.
what we do as a business is a big thing for me.
I think the phrase "people buy from people" is still as relevant now as it's always been, and it's just like we need to get in touch with it, in touch with with each other and build that connection. And we have a definition of action coach of a true business, which is a commercial, profitable enterprise that
Yeah.
works without its owners. How do you feel about that as a definition?
Yeah, I like it. We've recently just done an EOT
Oh,
as part
great.
of our group.
Yeah,
Which we've got a vehicle tracking company as well, and we've got a holding company. So the holding company, which owns both businesses, is now as it's set as an EOT. Um, but yeah, I've got a really fabulous MD that runs Forward and Thinking, and we've got another one in Simply Track that runs Simply Track. So we've always had the
brilliant.
view, I'm still in the business, I'm still out there doing my thing, but I don't have to run the day to day. So if I'm not there, it still runs on its own.
Brilliant. I was speaking to someone with a very similar attitude yesterday, and he described it as, once he's boxed it up, he wants to give it to somebody. So he'll create it, box it up, and then somebody else runs it. And similarly, and his primary role, because he loves strategy, is chairman, so or chairperson. So he's like very much the strategy side. That's his bag.
Yeah.
And I think that's the key thing. The beauty of having your own business, feel, is um, and when I use that definition, I often use the can work without the owner. Because if we love what we do, why would you want to stop? It's not, it doesn't have to, but it
No.
gives us choices, doesn't it? How much, what we do, and how much time we spend doing it. And we can still be really, really valuable to the business, even if it was only 1 or 2 days a week doing the stuff we really love and we're really good at, I think.
Yeah, people keep asking me when I want to stop working. I'm like, I'm never. I just like working, so I'm not going to stop.
I love doing what I do. I love doing these. I love coaching clients to get the success they deserve, and so I might do less of it, but I don't think I'll ever stop for absolutely 100%. And and so looking forward, then, Alison, what does the future look like for you guys, and what challenges do you think you might face, if any?
I think the challenges for this year is really we've really drilled down on our accounts that we've got and what products that we want to sell this year. So I don't see it as a challenge. I see it as an opportunity. I think the main opportunity, the main challenge we'll have is, a lot of businesses are really struggling at the moment with like the NHS and national insurance costs going up
Yeah,
and went up and everything. So and people like really holding back. And I think our challenge is to ensure that their company's marketing is still out there and we're still
yeah.
helping them make sales because that's ultimately what we do. But yeah, we found it a lot, but what we do is we just pivot into a different market if that market isn't where we need it to be.
Yes.
So we're just always moving parts all the time.
Brilliant. I love it. You really that route comes across of let's move into where the next opportunity is, and
Yeah,
and it's so as we said earlier, it's I think it's so valuable to be able to do that because typically businesses that don't change don't end up going anywhere, unfortunately, which is a shame, but
yeah.
it is what it is. And I'm keen to know what you say to anyone that was thinking of going into business right now, Alison.
Um, I think you've got to do it. Um, if you've got the confidence to do it, just do it. You can do both. You can still have your business and work on a side as well. My
Yes,
son's just doing the same. He still works in a full-time job, but he's actually got a side hustle on the side that he works on a weekend and on a night. So
brilliant.
you can have both, and then you can grow it from there. But I think it's well worth it. It's not for the faint-hearted though, because obviously, especially when you employ people, you've always got payroll, making sure that bills come in, people are paying on time, or it's a 7 day a week.
Yeah, yeah, no, that I completely get that, and I think it's great. And yeah, it's interesting that, as you say, that you don't have, it doesn't have to be one or the other. It can be both up until a point at which you can make that decision to do one or the others. And if you started your business again, Alison, is there anything significant you do differently, do you think?
I don't think I would actually, because I've just learned from each year. I've learned from different things and people that I've worked with. A lot of my clients have stayed with us for years, so
Brilliant,
like, they're like my friends now that I work with, and the staff have been with us for years as well. So, it's like one big family.
brilliant.
I don't know if I would, to be honest.
Brilliant. No, and to be honest, I think there's also the risk of the sort of sliding doors moment of anything that you did change might not mean you're here right
Yeah.
now. So if you're where you want to be, then probably don't change too much. That's always been my thought. Um,
Yeah.
and finally, I'm keen to know what would be the best advice you could give an 18-year-old you if you could go back in time and do that.
Well, I think it's the advice that I give. Well, he's 21, my son at the minute is, if you believe in it, just keep doing it because it's a numbers game.
Yeah,
That's one thing is sales, like it's a numbers game. The more you put in the funnel, the more you'll get out of it, and the more people you meet, the more people that recommends are massive. So the more people that you meet and people can recommend the work that you do and the referrals, the better chance your business has. So
brilliant. Sound advice for everyone, not just 18 or 21-year-olds, but
yeah,
very, very sound advice.
yeah.
Alison, it's been really fascinating talking to you this morning.
Oh,
I can see how driven you are, and therefore can see the what's behind your success. Um, and for anyone that's watching that would like to get in touch with you or your business, what would be the best way of doing that?
You can get in contact with me via my email, alison@forwardandthinking.com. I'm also on LinkedIn. It's just Alison Johnson or on my mobile that you could give.
Wonderful. Yeah, we can add that to this if that's okay for you.
Yeah.
And well, look, it'd be great to swing by another 6 12 months and just see what developments are going and how some of the changes to strategy of work. But for now, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you very much for having me on.
Thank you.